Page 14, Highland Fling. This first lesson in Unit 3, we're starting to use both stabs now. We're using a grand staff. You got notes in both stabs. You got to read the stuff in both stabs at the same time. Well, good luck. Let's see how we do. See, in this piece at least, only one hand is playing at a time, so it's really not that bad yet. But when you start getting notes in both stabs at the same time, you ought to be able to look at those notes and instantly know what they are. That's what I'm saying. You got to know the names of the notes in the music. You got to know the names of the keys on the piano instantly, or you'll struggle trying to read music. Just take it slow. It comes in time. Again, I have a process I use to learn a piece of music. I simply follow that process, and I trust it to take me all the way through to the end. Doesn't matter how easy or hard it is, the song is, I use this process. Sometimes when it's simple enough, I can combine multiple steps at one time. Other times, I got to take it one step at a time, and I sort of build it up. First thing I do is I look it over. I want an idea of how long it is. I see it's 2 lines long. Remember, a line is everything you're playing together. A whole grand staff is 1 line. So there's 2 stabs there, but you're connecting them. That's 1 line of music. So there's 2 lines of music here. The clef signs are treble and bass. Just get in the habit of checking them because they won't always be treble and bass. And the time signature is 4/4. And just briefly, I see half notes, quarter notes, and whole notes. That's fine. Both hands are playing, but they're playing one hand at a time. Now, what I usually do in this case, when both hands are playing, is I'll take one hand and then the other, and then I try to put the hands together. And a lot of times that's like starting over, but still, I like to tackle it one hand at a time first. In this piece, you're only playing one hand at a time until you get to the last measure. So I'm going to shorten the video a little bit, I hope, by taking both hands here. So it starts with the left hand. They want the little finger on the F. That's here. That puts the hand here. The right hand, when it comes in, is 4th finger on the F, here, and that puts the hand here. So we're here. We call this position, in case you're curious, even if you're not curious, we'll tell you, middle C position. Because middle C's here and the hands are centered on it. The thumbs are sharing middle C. You can't play two fingers on a key at a time. So it's one or the other. Could be either one. The music usually tells us which one. So if the note's in the bottom staff, I'm going to use the left hand. And if the C appears in the top staff, I'm going to use the right hand. And that's how we're going to do it. But this is where we are. You don't need any other finger numbers. I don't like the finger numbers. I just very slowly, I check it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then right hand. 1, 2, 3. You get the idea? You take it at your speed. Now in that last measure, you have a note in both hands at the same time. Either F's here and an F here. You just play them at the same time. Lowering both hands down gently. So the last 2 measures would be that. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's how that would work. Generally, you'll get in the habit of looking ahead when you're reading music. You'll see what's coming as you're reading, because you're just glancing at a note, you know what it is. You'll have to study it. And then you're able to look ahead. And this happens over time. You'll get in the habit of it. When I'm in the next to the last measure, I'm already looking at the last measure. I see what's coming, and I see I got to play an F in the left hand. I'm ready for it. So by the time I get there, I'm ready for that F in the left hand. And I just play it. Don't wait till you get to the last measure and then realize, oh, I got to play an F here too. You don't really have to make an effort at it. It'll happen. Because you'll find that you have to prepare for what's coming constantly. And you're constantly looking a little bit ahead. How far ahead? That depends on the music and how hard it is. You know, you don't have to look measures and measures ahead. Usually just a measure or so ahead to see what's coming as you're playing the measure you're in. And once I have the notes and the fingering and the rhythm worked out, then I'll go back over it slowly and I'll get rid of any hesitations. And if there's a particular place that's a problem, I'll focus on that and go through that up a few times. But no hesitations, a steady beat, start to finish. Once I can do that, I think about the articulation. They don't give us any. But, as I said before, you can put in the phrasing if you can hear the sentences. The musical thoughts. What's a musical thought? What just sounds like a thought? hard to tell. It kind of runs together very nicely. In a way, I think when you finish measure 4, the last measure, the first line, then you can lift up. Because measure 5 is like measure 1. It's like a new phrase, a new sentence. So you might lift up at the end of the first line. Like taking a quick breath. Don't have to. You could connect the whole thing if you wanted to. By the way, I might mention the second line, first measure. Above the staff at the beginning of it, there's a 5. That's a measure number. I refer to measure numbers a lot in the music. So I just say, look at measure 6. Well, to do that, you look around, you see a 5. Well, measure 6 is going to be the next one. So you know what measure 6 is. So I might refer to measure numbers. After the articulation, then I add dynamics. I don't think we've had dynamics before, so let's talk dynamics. Dynamic is louds and soft. Right now, we're just kind of playing everything in the middle. So they tell you up there, F is forte. Now, forte, another Italian word, it means loud. How loud? Well, we don't know, because there's no set loud. It's loud. And then P stands for piano, another Italian word, which means soft. More weight, louder. Less weight, softer. That's how I do it. That's just, at the beginning, you see the F between the staves. Well, that stands for forte or loud. You're going to play this loud. That depends on your situation. And the piano, in a little room like this, loud isn't that loud. If I were outside or in a big room, loud would be louder. So you have to adjust your dynamics to the situation. If somebody is sleeping, loud would be probably soft. It depends on the situation. So loud, whatever you think it is, just plenty of weight. Let the wrist collapse a little bit. And that's the only dynamic I see here is the F. Interesting. So it means the whole thing's loud. But it's not going to be exactly loud. It's going to be in that area. Because you can get a little louder and softer if you feel it that way. The natural accents will bring it a little bit. 1, 2. All in all, it's loud. As far as how fast you go, that's up to you. Just make sure it's accurate. It's not a real fast song, I don't think, is it? Maybe it is. Maybe it could be. But play it accurate. However fast you play it accurate. Now, once you can play this at least slowly with no hesitations, let's play it together. I'll give us 4 counts. And when we do these play with me's, I don't do dynamics. We're not performing it. We're just playing the notes and the rhythms. So hopefully you're playing the same note I'm playing when I play it. 1, 2, ready, go. 2. 1, 2.